September 2013. Millions of people stood in lines that wrapped around city blocks at midnight, clutching plastic cases as if they were holy relics. Within 24 hours, the product had generated $800 million, shattering every record in the entertainment industry and making Hollywood blockbusters look like student films. Rockstar Games had spent 5 years and $265 million building a digital recreation of Los Angeles, so detailed it felt alive. But beneath the satirical surface of Los Santos lies a digital abyss that has haunted players for over a decade. From cryptic murals on mountain peaks to hidden code that suggests a world observing its inhabitants, the game is more than a crime simulator. It's a labyrinth of unanswered questions and broken promises. This is the truth behind the unsolved mysteries of Grand Theft Auto 5. The city of Los Santos is a masterpiece of artifice. It's a world where the sun glitters off the hood of a stolen Banshee and the radio blares cynical pop music, masking the fact that every street corner is a calculated piece of geometry designed to keep you playing. Yet, for a dedicated subculture of digital archaeologists, the game is not about the car chases or the bank heists. It's about a mural. At the peak of Mount Chiliad, inside a cable car station, sits a crude drawing etched into the wood. It depicts a mountain topped by all-seeing eye, with lightning bolts radiating outward. At the base, 3 boxes contain symbols: a cracked egg, a UFO, and a man strapped into a jetpack. For years, this mural was the Zapruder film of the gaming world. Thousands of players spent thousands of hours overlaying the mural onto the game map, trying to find the exact location of the egg or the jetpack. They stood on the mountain during thunderstorms at 3 a.m, the specific time the mural seemed to hint at, and they were rewarded, sort of.
At that exact hour, in a thunderstorm, a holographic UFO appears above the peak. It is a moment of genuine digital awe, a signal that the developers were watching. But the UFO was just the beginning. It was a breadcrumb leading into a forest where the trail goes cold. The mystery of Mount Chiliad evolved from a simple Easter egg into an obsessive search for the jetpack. In the previous iteration of the franchise, the jetpack was a tangible tool, a reward for the player's chaos. In GTA 5, it became a ghost. Data miners dug through the game's code like forensic accountants, looking for any mention of a script that would trigger a secret door or a hidden laboratory. They found nothing but fragments, discarded lines of code and textures that suggested something more was planned but never finished. This is the first dark truth of Los Santos. Many of its mysteries are not puzzles to be solved, but scars left by a development cycle that ran out of time. Yet the community refused to accept that explanation. They turned their attention to the Epsilon program, the game's scathing parody of celebrity-driven cults. Led by the silver-haired Chris Formage, the Epsilon program tasks the player with a series of increasingly absurd missions, wearing sky blue robes for 10 days, donating tens of thousands of dollars, and wandering through the desert with a malfunctioning sensor. The cult's slogan, Kiflum, became a rallying cry for players convinced that the tract of the Epsilon program contained the key to the Chiliad mural. The tracts are filled with nonsense about aliens and the Earth being only 157 years old, yet they mirrored the real-world obsession of the players. Rockstar wasn't just building a mystery, they were mocking the people trying to solve it. As the years passed, the mysteries grew darker and more grounded in the grim reality of the city's fictional history. There is the ghost of Mount Gordo.
If you approach the peak between 11 p.m. and midnight, you will see a translucent woman hovering in the air. She does not speak. She does not move. If you get too close, she vanishes. At her feet, the name Jock is written in blood. This is Jolene Cranley Evans, the wife of Jock Cranley, a stuntman turned politician in the game's universe. The mystery is solved through a web of in-game websites and newspaper clippings, revealing a story of a husband who pushed his wife off a cliff to further his career. It is a rare moment of narrative closure in a world defined by ambiguity, but it only fueled the fire for the more elusive puzzles. Then there is the Infinite Eight Killer. Deep in the desert of Blaine County, scrawled on the rocks and inside burnt-out shacks, are the nursery rhymes of Merle Abrahams. He was a man obsessed with the number 8 and the concept of infinity. His writings detail the murder of 8 victims, whose bodies are hidden in the vast crushing depths of the Pacific Ocean surrounding the map. Finding the bodies requires a submersible and a willingness to stare into the murky, terrifying blue of the game's underwater engine. The bodies are there, wrapped in plastic, swaying in the current. It is a chilling reminder that Rockstar's developers populated their world with corpses just to see if anyone would bother to look for them. But the most unsettling mysteries are those that seem to bridge the gap between the game and reality. There is the legend of the black cell phones. By dialing a specific number, 1-999-367-3767, the player triggers an explosion in the sky above them, and their character's cell phone changes appearance to a sleek black model. It serves no purpose, it grants no powers. It is a digital anomaly that feels like a glitch, yet it was intentionally programmed. Why? The community remains divided.
Some believe it is a leftover developer tool. Others believe it is the trigger for a sequence that has yet to be discovered. This persistent belief in a grand mystery is the engine that has kept Grand Theft Auto V relevant for over a decade. But there is a cynical side to this longevity. While players were hunting for jetpacks and decoding alien languages, the focus of Rockstar Games shifted. The single-player experience, once the crown jewel of the company, was effectively abandoned in favour of the monolithic moneymaker, GTA Online. The original plan, hinted at in early press releases, included massive single-player expansions that would likely have concluded the Chiliad mystery. Instead, those assets were stripped and repurposed for online updates. The jetpack finally appeared, not as a reward for a complex puzzle, but as a vehicle you could buy for millions of in-game dollars, or for $40 of real-world money via shark cards. The Doomsday Heist update took all the lore the mystery hunters had obsessed over, the UFOs, the hidden bases, the jetpacks, and turned them into a series of cooperative missions designed to maximize player engagement and spending. The mystery wasn't solved, it was monetized. This is the ultimate irony of the Unsolved Mysteries of GTA 5. The community spent years acting like digital detectives, convinced that if they just found the right trigger, the world would open up and reveal its secrets. They treated the game like a living, breathing conspiracy, but the entity behind the curtain wasn't an alien race or a secret society. It was a corporate titan that realized a mystery is more valuable when it is never solved. A solved puzzle is discarded. An unsolved one keeps a player logged in, searching, and eventually spending. Even today, in the twilight of the game's life, as the world waits for the next installment, players still haunt the peaks of Mount Chiliad.
They still look for the Mount Chiliad heart and the underwater hatch that emits a rhythmic tapping. The tapping is a coded message in Morse code, which when translated tells the player they never call and asks if they want to go bowling, a nod to a previous game in the series. It is a joke, a recursive loop of self-reference that leads nowhere. The map of Los Santos is a graveyard of intentions. It's filled with half-finished buildings that will never be completed, inaccessible interiors that look like they were meant for grand heists, and cryptic symbols that likely pointed to stories that were never told. We see a world of conspiracy because the human brain is wired to find patterns in the noise. But in the case of GTA 5, the noise is often just the sound of a massive production shifting its priorities. Rockstar Games created a world so dense and so beautiful that we couldn't help but believe it had a soul. We wanted to believe that the alien frozen in the ice in the game's prologue was the start of an epic saga, rather than a clever texture placed there to start a conversation. We wanted to believe that the Epsilon program offered enlightenment, rather than a parody of our own willingness to follow a script. In the end, the greatest mystery of Grand Theft Auto 5 is how a game about the hollowness of the American dream managed to convince millions of people that there was something profound hidden in its code. We looked for ghosts in the machine and found only reflections of our own obsession. The mural remains on the mountain, the ghost still haunts the cliffside, and the jetpack is now just another item in a digital store. The secrets were never hidden under the mountain. They were hidden in the spreadsheets of a company that learned how to turn curiosity into a billion-dollar commodity. This is the hollow, brilliant truth behind the mysteries of Los Santos.